Yo guys, what's up? Fly here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new dev blog post of a new flying boat from the nation of Russia that will be added in 1.57 with wooden fucking wheels. Let's get started. So this is the MBR-2. The dev blog says a Soviet flying boat developed at the beginning of the 1930s. The MBR is an acronym of, I'm not saying that, but it means Short Range Marine Scout. If you guys want to follow along with me, the dev blog post will be in the description below. This aircraft was designed to scout the seas for several hours. It was intended to coordinate the actions of the fleet and fulfill the role of a light bomber. The plane successfully completed testing and went into service with the Naval Air Force of the Baltic and Black Sea fleets in 1934. Tests showed that the MBR-2 possessed good flight characteristics which surpassed foreign aircraft of the same type. So what really, just off the bat, when you take a look at this aircraft, you'll notice two things, or at least I'll notice two things. One, we have an elevated engine over the fuselage and wooden wheels. Now I can understand the elevated engine to reduce water intake, and water and fuel do not mix, and it being higher up means that any kind of splashes won't get into the intake. What I'm kind of confused about, maybe you guys can fill me in, is why it's a pusher aircraft. The only thing I can kind of fathom right now is that because the engine was mounted so far up on the fuselage, kind of towards the nose, they had to put the majority of, or like where the thrust was being produced, more in the rear to center out the center of gravity, so the plane wouldn't, dive right down into the ground. The pusher propeller means that the center of gravity is in the center of the aircraft with the way this flying boat is built. The next thing is the wooden wheels. What? That is typical Russian 1930 design. It's like just carve wood wheels out of tree. Boom. Maybe put potato for spokes. Boom, boom. But these look like transmissive gears or landing gears. What that means is that they're able to be attached and detached. They don't retract. I highly think that this MBR could not take off with those wooden wheels, but it is Russian, so don't discount that. Wooden wheels on takeoff hitting over 100 kilometers an hour. Gosh, those pilots better had some really good seats, because that would be a really bumpy ride. So these things probably were to ferry the plane to and from the water. Once the MBR landed, the landing gears were attached and it was dragged out onto land, as well as when it needed to take off, it would be pulled into the sea, detached, and it would take off from there. Continuing with the dev blog, they say that the MBR-2 flying boat is a fully wood-built aircraft with a single pusher propeller located above the wing. In comparison with other flying boats, example the British Sunderland in this update, this Soviet boat looks rather small, only 19 meters of wingspan. So with that said, I believe this will be our smallest flying boat in the game. With this one added, let's just do some math here. We have, let's just count one PBY. We have one PBY, one H6K4, one Sunderland, and one Emily. Now, there's been word on the street that the Emily won't be added in 1.57, but that's just from Reddit talk and forum talk. I really hope they're able to add that addition for the Japanese. Now, War Thunder, to complete this full circle, we have the USA flying boats, we have the British flying boat, we have the Japanese flying boats, and now we have a Russian flying boat. Germany needs a flying boat, and I'm sure they had one. And also, War Thunder, you need to add that huge transport, I think it's called Giant or whatever it's called. It was massive, it was awkward looking, it had rocket assisted takeoffs, and it was fabulous looking, that too. Okay, so let's continue. The most unusual aspect of the flying boat is its M17 engine mounted above the wing. Blah, 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 blah. Next, they go into how much this plane can carry, and it's pretty fucking impressive. The MBR-2 can carry up to 500 kilograms of bombs, or even 700 kilograms of bombs in configuration of a 250 kilograms plus 4 50 kilogram bombs. And this can only be carried in its overweight configuration with fuel underfill. So you'll have to take less fuel to be able to take off and potentially climb to maybe about 100 meters. And its defensive armament consists of two 7.62 Shvaks or SHKAS machine guns. You know, ones that are on the tripod that go kind of like a smaller version of the A10 Gatling gun. That's a pretty good defense, but as we see the pictures right here, there's a pretty big tail in the way, so there will be some a blind spot for planes to come up to the rear and be able to shoot it. Also, that engine is out in the open, so I would shoot for that entirely and just wait until you get a critical on it or something and just let that thing, you know, fall to the ground. Because what War Thunder advice tells us is that aim for the bomber's engines, they won't get far. But that really doesn't go in hand when the bomber has 4. This one only has 1, and I'll tell you right now, a plane with only 1 engine, without that 1 engine, won't get far at all. They also mentioned that this will be a special edition aircraft. So what this means is that you won't be able to research this normally in the tech tree. This might be an event or maybe something else, but confirmed, you cannot research this. This aircraft will be at rank 1, so I'm gonna call a 1.7 to a 2.0 on this aircraft. Oh, it says, this is how you get it, obtainable by participating in in-game events. Keep an eye on our news. So one more thing to add before I show you guys the exclusive gameplay footage is that Russia has a huge history of building flying boats, and still today, they build some of the most state-of-the-art flying boats in the world. They are beautiful to look at. I'll have some videos of them in the description below, but let's go back about 40 years? Yeah, 45 to 50 years. Have you guys ever heard of the Caspian sea monster? Or better yet, the EKRANOPLAN? If that doesn't ring a bell, in the description is an amazing documentary about it. But just a little bit about it, during the Cold War, in case of the worst case scenario, Russia needed a way to transport heavy tanks, infantry, and all the things needed for warfare across the Pacific Ocean. And they needed to do this as fast as possible and undetected by radar. And that is what the EKRANOPLAN was built to do. It flew at 500 kilometers an hour and used ground effect to stay airborne at around 13 meters off the ground. It's insane and it looks fucking awesome. I highly recommend you guys check that out. But here we go. Here's the exclusive footage. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. And until next time, have a great day. Peace out.